Crocs are globally popular. It can be argued that they are ugly shoes, sure, but in the end, you will find everyone wearing them. No wonder the company earns billions from these shoes. This begs the question, how do they manage to do so? What makes their shoes so marketable? Today, we will be talking about how Crocs turned a somewhat ugly shoe and managed to make billions from it. You must be wondering, how did they even start the company and design their popular shoe, and what is the reason behind its success that's led to billions in revenue? Did they face any issues along the way? Well, stick around to the end as we answer these questions and more, and delve into the intricacies behind this shoe company. Without any further ado, let's begin. To understand how the owners of Crocs made billions from these somewhat ugly shoes, first we need to discuss the story of how these shoes came into being. So buckle your seatbelts, folks, because this is one interesting story. Crocs were born in 2002 by a trio of people, namely George Brodbecker, Scott Siemens, and Lyndon Hansen. George was the one who united the trio, and as he knew both Scott and Lyndon, he and Lyndon were in the same school and university while he and Scott sailed together. To be honest, sailing is something that all three of them liked, and surprisingly, it's what led them to developing Crocs. Let me explain. It was one fine day when the three of them were out sailing in the Caribbean when they came across boating shoes that were made by a Canadian company which was known then as Foam Creations. It was not the design or appearance that intrigued the trio, but it was the material that was used for the shoe. As it turned out, it was a new material and was known as Croslite. Impressed by the material, when the trio returned from their sailing trip, they discussed it was a feasible business opportunity and decided they would pool in resources to acquire the rights to the manufacturing process of Foam Creations and in turn get the exclusive rights to use Croslite. This took some time to implement, and it was by 2004 that they managed to fully acquire this new Croslite technology. Now that they had acquired the material, all that was needed was to divide the tasks amongst each other so that the company would flourish quickly and efficiently. George, being the mutual link between Scott and Lyndon, became the CEO of the company. His job was to attract investors so that the initial mass manufacturing stage could be financed. However, before he could do this, Scott was tasked with designing the product, which he did using the Croslite, and came up with a design that looked good and was equally comfortable. The operations side of things was managed by Lyndon. Now, with everyone working hard on their side of the job, in the end, they brought up a very comfortable shoe, which was the reason they managed to bring aboard so many investors. The first Crocs style was then launched by them and called the Beach, which proved to be a major success. And it had a grand opening too, as it was released at the Fort Lauderdale Boat Show in Florida in 2001. Crocs debuted the Beach, and the 200 pairs they had made were all sold out. Public perception of them was amazing. A shoe that had originally been intended to be used for boating and water-related activities soon became a comfortable shoe that could be worn by anyone. It wasn't just boaters and sailors who wanted the bold, comfy, and trendy brand on their feet. Soon, millions of people all over the world were buying them. Seeing how quickly the Beach was becoming popular, Crocs had to capitalize on this initial wave of popularity. And what better way to do that than by rolling out another product? And that's exactly what they did when they unveiled the Nile, which was for women in 2003. While it was true that the Beach was supposed to be unisex, many women didn't like it and said that it wasn't really suited for feminine feet. This was also apparent as the majority of sales for the Beach were from men. Introducing the Nile was a brilliant move, as it not only took full advantage of the initial popularity, but it now targeted a larger audience, which means larger sales and profits. Now in 2006, Crocs had established itself as a huge brand. But did they stop there? No. They continued to innovate and make their product even more attractive than before, which boosted sales even more. You must be wondering, how did they manage to do that? Well, thanks to their creative and innovation team, they bought Jibbitz, which was a small company that made accessories that could be styled onto Crocs shoes, mainly into their holes. This made the shoes fashionable and even more trendy to wear. Seeing the positive response and the boost in sales, and in order to expand their brand and product offering even further, Crocs continued to buy a number of other businesses in the footwear and apparel sectors. These included a line of wedge shoes for women and some extremely unique trainers. However, not all went perfectly for the company. As they tried to expand even further in the 2010s, they overextended, and due to the ongoing recession, they suffered huge losses. As a result, they had to close down a lot of stores. Moreover, their sales dropped in the winter as people didn't want to buy Crocs then, which worsened their situation. It felt like they will continue this decline till bankruptcy, until Andrew Rees came into the picture. Since becoming CEO in 2017, Rees has placed a focus on discontinuing underperforming product lines, reducing Crocs' inventory levels, and investing in the company's signature clogs, sandals, and flip-flops in a variety of colors and patterns. Crocs were able to maintain its relevance with customers and adjust to changes in the retail industry as a result of Rees's strategy move. Slowly, they climbed back and became a force to be reckoned with within the shoe industry. Stores started to open again, and production started to match the demand. They were back on track to expand their sales and maximize profit. As you can see, the company really diversified itself and continues to innovate and expand, which boosted sales and popularity. But this was not just the reason they managed to reach that billion-dollar valuation. Crocs have donated a lot to the poor, and through their program, which is known as Crocs Cares, they've managed to donate 3 million shoes to third world countries. Besides this, Crocs is also very concerned about the environment, as lately they've modified its packaging to prevent approximately 640,000 pounds of waste from going into the landfills. This averts the waste of more than 900,000 Crocs shoes. Imagine the amount of waste saved. And then think about how if every company did this, the problems of landfills could be minimized, and the world could become a better place. What Crocs is doing is just impressive. This has really given them a positive image amongst the public and has boosted their sales even more globally. I'm sure by now you understand how Crocs made billions by selling their simplest yet most comfortable and trendy shoes you will ever see. The reason behind these sales was not just the design and the comfort level, but it was also due to the marketing techniques, the different types of product designs, and the timings of the launch of these designs. These, along with the social work the company has done for the future, have really boosted its image for them, and all these factors combined have resulted in a gigantic company now worth billions. At the rate which they are spreading, I am sure they will continue to grow and become an even bigger company than they are now. I know that sounds absurd, as you must be thinking that how big can a shoe company get? Well, no one expected them to be as big as they are now. They are breaking expectations, and I'm sure they will continue to do so. That's all, folks. I hope you liked the video, and if you did, do like the video. I think I've cleared everything there is to know about how Crocs made billions, but if you're still confused, let us know in the comments below. We value the feedback of our subscribers, so don't hesitate to do so. And lastly, subscribe if you want to see similar videos. I'll see you guys in the next one.